You know, we actually all owe Rob Zombie an apology. He doesn't have the worst Halloween movie anymore.
Okay, so my next movie review is going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. I put up a poll on the YouTube community tab page on my channel saying what movie review would you guys want to see next, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was a choice, and that is the option that won. And spoiler alert for the rest of the review, I actually really enjoyed this movie. Though, yes, it definitely has its issues. Now, for this review, I'm going to be sticking to the unrated director's cut, since that is the easiest to find option if you want to watch this movie. I'll let you guys know that I have seen both cuts, but to be honest, I can't remember any of the major differences between the two cuts. Maybe I'll do another video going over the theatrical cut, but for right now, we're sticking to the unrated director's cut. First and foremost, I want to say, like I said in my Halloween Ends review, I can appreciate when a director or studio does something different with a franchise that's been going on for a while, and this is definitely another one of those examples. This film is without a doubt very different from the original Halloween 2. Now, I want to go ahead and start off this review with the positives, and that being, I actually liked, for the most part, what they did with Laurie Strode, Scout Taylor Compton's character, and her relationship with Annie Brackett in this film. I know throughout a lot of the movie, Laurie can seem like a real bitch to everybody and all that, but I know what Rob was kind of trying to do. He was kind of trying to explore the severe trauma and aftermath and everything that's just affecting Laurie. And there's even a scene, I believe it's in the director's cut, where she mentions to her therapist that when she looks at Annie, it hurts her because all she gets is reminders of what happened that Halloween night where Michael Myers came after her. And so I think if you look at it that way, it's a little easier to kind of understand where exactly Rob was going with the character of Laurie in this one. And it's a little easier to kind of just think, well, she was going through a lot of trauma, and Rob wants to explore these different themes, and I think it's okay for the most part. I will say, compared to his Halloween 1 remake in 2007, this one definitely has toned down a bit on the Rob Zombie dialogue. It's not as, I guess you could say, trailer park white trashiness sort of thing. It's not as bad in this film. It's definitely in there a bit, like the point where Richard Brake's character is in the van, and once they crash, they hit the cow, and he's all busted up and shit, and he's sitting there saying fuck a million times. You're gonna get that in a Rob Zombie movie no matter what. To be honest, one of the biggest problems that I've seen over the years people have an issue with this movie is Michael Myers himself, because it doesn't look like Michael Myers, at least for the majority of the movie. First sort of 15 minutes of the movie, you get a Rob Zombie version of the kind of hospital sequence in Halloween 2. So you get this really badass look for Michael Myers, in my opinion, and it's my favorite look in that movie, like compared to the hobo look and all that. The hospital sequence, the dream sequence, so to speak, is my favorite look for Myers. And I'll even say that I don't hate the hobo look. I don't care for when he doesn't have his mask on, but I kind of like the dynamic of where he will put on his mask when he's kind of in killing mode, like the scene in the movie where he's just wandering the fields and the two guys and the girl come up and those guys kind of beat the shit out of him and he just takes it and gets his ass beat for a minute and then he kind of puts on the mask and goes into sort of psycho mode and really fucks those guys up. I think that's a cool way to do that. And even when the mask has a huge tear on one side, it's torn in half pretty much. I see people like, oh, well, that's so stupid. I don't like seeing Michael's face at all and all that shit. But look, to be honest, this man's lived out in the fucking wilderness for how long, walking around. The mask is going to go through hell. It was already rotted and fucked up in the 2007 movie. So, in all honesty, it would just make more sense to have it even more deteriorated in this one. And from a logic standpoint, which I know, to be honest, you don't go into a Halloween movie a lot of the time wanting like 100% logic. I get that. But in terms of the mask and the look, continuity wise, I'm perfectly fine with it. On to the negatives, and I will say I don't have many with this movie actually. I don't have a huge long fucking list of negatives like I see some people who absolutely hate this film. They probably have a full sheet of negatives. I do not. I have a few things, and while I don't have many negatives for this movie, aside from one, they are pretty major negatives that do kind of knock this movie back a bit for me. And the number one negative I have for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the fucking White Horse Ghost Mom shit. Who the fuck asked for that? As a Halloween fan, I didn't ask for it. Did you ask for it? I don't think so. Now, when I say, oh, okay, Rob Zombie tried something different, I appreciate that. Yeah, for the most part, but not the Ghost Mom shit. That can go straight to hell. Screw that. To be honest, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. First of all, none of the White Horse stuff was really in the first movie, so you can't say, oh, well, what if that was hinted at? It wasn't. Like, it doesn't matter. It was just some bullshit Rob threw in there because he wanted to be cool, I guess. And the Ghost Mom stuff, nobody wants that. Well, except for Rob, because it's fucking Sherry Moon Zombie, like it always is, and every Rob Zombie. Okay, look, I respect Rob in that case, that if you love your wife so much and you love each other and you want to make fucking movies and cool, man, fine. Like, do you, man. But as the person who's watching the movie, I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit. And just you to throw her in there just to have her in a role is ridiculous, in my opinion. Her acting's not great. She was honestly better as Deborah Myers in the first movie. At least there she was tolerable. This one she's not. It's just fucking annoying. Like, take us home, Michael. Take us.
Nobody fucking cares, bro.
Calm down. Calm down. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that Ghost Mom White Horse crap there because I could probably rant about that for forever. I'd be here forever ranting about that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the other negatives. Now, the other big negative was if you watch the unrated director's cut, which is probably what you're going to find on DVD and all that mostly. That's what's most widely accessible to people on home video. Michael Myers speaks at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't do that, Rob.
No, you don't make Michael talk. Fuck that. No. There is no part of me that will accept that grown-ass, scary Michael Myers talks. No, that ruins the character. In that moment, it's stupid. He even takes his mask off to speak. It's ridiculous. Your best bet if you want a decent ending, a much better ending where Michael doesn't even talk, I suggest try your best to find the theatrical version because that has a much better ending, in my opinion. I guess my last little negative, which I kind of mentioned it a bit in the positives when I was talking about how the dialogue I think was better, a little better in this movie. You have still, like I mentioned, some of the Rob Zombie dialogue, like Richard Brake saying fuck a million times. You got this whole sequence where Laurie's freaking out. I'm not gonna say it, but saying like the C word and all that, talking about Annie and how she's gonna kill her and all this and that. Yes, it's Rob Zombie dialogue. You're gonna get that in pretty much every Rob Zombie movie, so just kind of expect a little bit of that. I think this movie gets a lot more hate than it actually deserves. I mean, it's different, and I think the people that like change in a long-running franchise and want to see something new, and I mentioned this when I did a review on Halloween Ends. I think those people will enjoy this more. It's definitely gotten a lot better, I guess, with the the fandom kind of Halloween sort of community or whatever. People are seeming to, as the years go on, accept this movie more, and that actually makes me pretty happy. I think that's cool because I do think it gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Check it out once. I mean, like I said, you'll probably find the unrated director's cut more accessible than the theatrical. If you can find the theatrical somehow, I suggest you watch that. You get a lot more character moments, I guess, in not the theatrical, sorry, the unrated director's cut. So that's another plus I completely forgot to mention. Sorry about that. But yeah, definitely check this movie out if you have not seen it. I'm sure most of you probably have. But hopefully in time, maybe a few more years, it may even take a lot longer than that, this movie will get a better recognition and people will think about it a bit more and maybe not hate on it so much. If you like this review, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so you never miss a video from me, and I will see you in the next one.